What's up, guys? Today we're getting some prawns, we're grabbing some lobsters, we're shooting some Omilu, picking up some taco. Stay tuned, it's gonna be an awesome video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and read your Bible. Shoots! Alright, this video is going to have a few different dives put together. It's just a compilation of some of the best clips on these 3 different dives. And today we got some super clear water. On this drop, I'm able to land a nice Moana collie. I got my new wetsuit on. It's a 3.5 millimeter. And it's a little heavy and a little hot. So I would suggest maybe like a 2.5 or a 3 millimeter, because this thing got hot quick, and I usually use around 6 pounds, so I got to put another pound or maybe 2 pounds on it. I feel like 8 pounds for a 3.5 millimeter is a little bit too much, and the deeper that you dive, you know, you want to have fewer and fewer pounds. But this Moana collie comes right up before I even spend any time on the bottom and gives me a shot, so I'm able to get that. Got to start off. And we see a couple of tuna in this one, some skipjack, but they didn't come in, so there was no luck. I really wanted to shoot one of those. I haven't been able to shoot one of those yet. Here I see this nice taco just chilling on the bottom. He does his little side skirt right there. It's always cool to see him do that. And then just camo. It's so fascinating how these guys could change color. They ink. They're really just really strange creatures, but they taste really, really good, and they're really a delicacy in the islands. Here you can tell the water is significantly murkier. This clip and that last clip are actually the same dive, but here's just a murky section of where I'm diving. And see this papio just cruising around. It's a little too small. He's legal size, but I don't really like to shoot them unless they're, 15 inches or bigger. In the past, I'd probably shoot that thing. But now I'm just getting a little more picky because I'm seeing them all the time, and I just want to let them go and let them grow, and then get the bigger ones, just like you're going to see on this dive right here. So this is shallow. This is like 15 feet, and I see that moo. So I'm dropping down. I was going to try and dive bomb it, and it sees me get spooked. So go down to the bottom, which I should have done at the beginning. But I go down to the bottom, see if he's going to come back in, and I'm just going to wait right here. You see how shallow the water is. And this is the same dive. This is the same dive as that murky area. So these 2 Omilu, boom, come right in. And I was thinking about this later. I took a quick shot because I didn't want to lose my opportunity. But I probably should have shot the one in the back. It looked a little bit bigger. It was darker, looked a little bigger. But either way, I land this nice Omilu, and I'm pretty stoked because I'm just at the right place at the right time. So he's not huge, but it's a good size. I tried to reload my gun, and I had so many problems. The cuttlefish barrel actually had so much pressure that it popped off. I had to reattach it. My line broke, my load assist, and I had to just start loading from right here. You'll see it pop. Boom! That whole thing pops off. Oh man, that was such a pain to get back on. You had to use a lot of force to get it. So I ended up getting it back on, loaded my gun. After about 15 minutes, I had to retie my load assist. I had to put the cuttlefish barrel back on, and I see this nice moray just cruising along, and I just wanted to get a little clip of him. He's just going in and out of the rocks. I thought it was cool. Here's another cool clip. These needlefish just hanging around. They just formed a little circle around me, and I'm not sure why. If you know why, maybe throw something up in the comments. But Maybe it's just because I'm shooting fish and they're getting little bites to eat here and there. Here I see this taco from the surface, so I'm gonna go check him out, try and add this to the Omilu and get some dinner for the family. So as you notice, I'm not really taking too much stuff. So the first dive I got a taco and a monocolli. Second dive I got an Omilu and another taco. And this is the third dive and I'm going for some bugs, and I got my 3-prong, hopefully gonna get some pachis on this dive, and just trying to take what I need, not overfish and not just kill just to kill. So I pulled this lobster out, but this is actually the first time this ever happened to me. The lobster held on so tight that the head ripped off. And I was tripping because that's never happened to me before. They always either come out or the antennas come off. But I had him by the roots and the head actually ripped off. So it floats out later and I get to grab it. But I was just so confused how the whole head came off. Here we got some nice structure, and my arch nemesis right here, the uhu, which is actually a really easy fish to get, but for some reason I just miss them more than anything. that thing was like straight in front of me, and I just pulled the trigger a little too late and it was out of there. It's just such a big miss. So give me some pointers. If you could throw some things in the comment, what should I do differently? Be more patient, or maybe pull the trigger sooner? I don't know. You go ahead and throw up something that'll help me out. But you know, I'm still trying to improve my dive game. So let me know if you have anything that can help me out. This little crevice or valley, maybe you could call it, this thing was loaded. We've got some ta'ape, a bunch of fish, but mainly just nai and palani, and some manini right there. But I'm looking to get something bigger, so I'm holding back from shooting right now. I did see a nice kumu, and I'm hoping that he comes back out, but there's all these fish in the way and I can't see him, so I end up not being able to take the shot. Another just super fishy zone. So when you get zones like this where there's a bunch of these reef fish, a bunch of nai, manini, kole, you know that there's going to be some bigger fish coming along. And this is usually the type of areas that when I see a bunch of fish like that, that's when I see big schools of nanui. And when I see big schools of nanui, that's when I start to see some of the bigger Omilu and alua and things like that. Here Jake is getting some mempachi, and the taxman cruises right along. You can see he's got some fish. He's got a nice kumo on his belt right there. And this Galapagos just cruises over and just checking us out, but you can't really tell from the camera, but that's a pretty good sized Galapagos right there. So when these guys cruise around, they come after every noise. So after every gunshot or your 3-prong hits the reef, they're gonna cruise back to see if there's something for them to eat. So Jake had to shoot this mempachi without hitting anything, just gets a bullseye shot right in the head and didn't hit any reef. It was really expert level diving right there. Now here's how not to catch a lobster. So this lobster's cruising around. You want to put your hand straight on the back on its tail, but I try and kind of scoop it with both hands, which I don't know why I did that. Hits Jake right in the face. Sorry, Jake. And we're just cruising, trying to find him again. So there he is, and able to grab him. Of course, if it's female, we let him go. If it's male, we keep him. After we got a nice catch, now it's time to harvest some prawns. Oh, baby! Let's go! One down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to our 1 Minute with God. Today we're going to be talking about self-denial. Look at what Jesus says about self-denial in Luke chapter 9, verse 23. Then he said to them all, "If anyone wants to be my disciple, he must deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. For whoever wants to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for me will save it." Jesus says if anyone wants to follow him, if anyone wants to be his disciple, he must deny himself, carry his cross daily, and follow him. So what does it look like to carry your cross? Well, when we think of the cross, we think of salvation because Jesus died on the cross for our sins. But this is before Jesus died. So the cross was used for crucifixion. So the Persians invented crucifixion and the Romans perfected it. So when Jesus says carry your cross, what he's saying is you got to die to yourself. The disciples would have thought, I have to die every day if I want to follow you? Yes. You've got to deny yourself even to the point where it feels like death. So why is working out so good? Working out's good because it's a form of self-denial and it actually benefits you. Why is eating healthy good? It's good because it's a form of self-denial. Why is forgiving someone that's hurt you or wronged you or sinned against you good? Because it's a form of self-denial. God has plans to prosper all these people that deny themselves, but he says, if you want to follow me, you must deny yourself. So if you're unwilling to deny yourself, you can't follow Jesus. That's a line that you have to cross. You have to be willing to deny yourself if you want to consider yourself a Christian. It goes on, it says, what good is it for a man to gain the whole world and yet lose or forfeit his very self? If anyone is ashamed of me and my words, the Son of Man will be ashamed of him when he comes in his glory and in the glory of the Father and of the holy angels. So Jesus gives a scenario. What good would it be if you had all the money in the whole world, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, but at the end of your life, when you stand before God, he says, you're not getting into heaven. Would you make that trade? Or would you rather be someone that's homeless and has a relationship with God and has nothing on this earth, but then gets to go to heaven? See, we could have a relationship with God where he takes care of us. He has plans to prosper us, not to harm us, plans to give us hope in the future, but we cannot be ashamed of him. If we're ashamed to talk about Jesus, then Jesus is going to be ashamed to talk about us on that last day. Guys, let's be men and women of self-denial and follow God and seek God with all our heart. That's our 1 Minute with God. Thanks for tuning in.